Welcome, everyone, to the inaugural episode of the Budacast. I am Matt Haywood, your host, along with Penn Bensons.
Hello.
Anna, a.k.a. Febzilla.
What up?
And Raymond, the Wu-Tang Clan.
Hello, hello, hello.
We are all part of the established EntertainmentBuddha.com website, where we make you a better geek one post at a time. EB's been around for about 4 years now. We're actually going on our 5th year, and this is the core team of the website. So we will typically be your host for the Budacast. And today's episode, we're just going to title it Enter the EB to kind of get you used to the website, what we do, as well as who we are, what we like. Today's topics, fairly relevant in the gaming industry right now, will be Titanfall, a little game you may have heard about. As well as, yeah, I know. As well as Dark Souls 2, another small game you may have heard about. And then towards the end of the show, we're going to touch on some of the big news that popped up this week from GDC, namely Project Morpheus. And then I made a little midnight trip to pick up Infamous Second Son, so I just want to do a brief first impressions on that bad boy. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get the party started. Me personally, and this is mainly directed to Ray and Jim, because you guys are the resident Dark Souls experts here. But the whole Dark Souls phenomena, just to me, I don't get it. So if one of you, maybe Ray, start out, just what makes
do
Dark
you
Souls
want to
so
take this one, Ray? You can take this one.
What makes it so popular?
Yeah, like why do people stand out in a line at midnight to pick this game up?
Because we are a small but vocal, I guess, realm of the gaming world that truly enjoys punishing ourselves. I
can see that. Yeah, definitely. And it's also one of those things. It's the sense of reward. Yeah, a lot of people will say, "Oh, Dark Souls, it's a really hard game." There's so many different things that come with that as well. You've got people that will do like the entire game without leveling up. Like they're called the One Bros. But it's for me, I think.
What is that? Where are they called? The One Bros?
The One Bros, yeah. It's level one. Level one.
Okay, so
yeah,
I've learned something new.
It's definitely an achievement to do that. But yeah, carry on, Ray, man.
The most rewarding, I'll say franchises, because we'll include Demon Souls in that as well. But like through the Souls series, I think it's by and large the most rewarding video game experience if you're truly willing to suck it up and tough it out.
Yeah. You've definitely got to put the hours in.
Rewarding because of why? Just because it is so difficult, it doesn't hold your hand. There's no tutorial. I mean, what is that reward? What's the big payoff?
It's not just that it's hard and you overcome the challenges. I mean, there's also a lot of things that go on with Dark Souls. Like the whole lore is completely and utterly within the game world. You have to figure it out. It's not a case of here's a piece of text that will tell you, oh, this happened, and this is this person, this is this person. You've kind of got to follow people on a journey. I mean, possibly the most famous guy is there's two guys. There's the Onion Knight, also known as Onion Bro, and then you've also got Knight Solaire.
You guys got a lot of bros in this game.
Yeah,
growing
it up's a thing in the Souls community, I guess.
Oh yeah, you've got to.
You've got to.
No, or none that we like to talk about.
So
going back to the whole Souls universe, then, fellas, is Dark Souls and Demon Souls somehow related, or are they truly separate franchises? I mean, again, I'm literally ignorant with the Souls games, so that's why I'm asking.
See, I only played a tiny bit of Demon Souls, and I didn't even know about it until I'd played Dark Souls, and someone said, "Oh, have you played Demon Souls?" And I was like, "No, not heard of this game." And when I actually finally got around to getting a PlayStation 3, it was one of the
it's a free game, right? Yeah, because
exactly. Yeah, it was a PS Plus game, so obviously it didn't cost me anything, and I thought, I'll give it a go. I loved Dark Souls at that point. I'd already got it on the PC as well as on the 360, so I knew what I was getting into from the start, and I'm not too sure about the lore. Mechanically, it's a different game. In fact, I would say it's more like Dark Souls 2. The way that
certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it works.
Demon Souls and Demon Souls, to say just the first Dark Souls, lore wise not interconnected so much as just thematic elements. There's a certain motifs, if you will, that kind of run through the Souls series as a whole. That being said, Dark Souls and subsequently Dark Souls 2 obviously have a lot more working together that tie them, not necessarily stuff that's worth going into now for those who haven't played it or anything, but yeah, so similar yet different throughout, I guess, the entire franchise.
Because I like Tim Benson's mentioned, I did download Demon Souls through PS Plus, and I fired it up, and I probably lasted about 30 minutes, and I was like, you know what, screw this shit. I got better things to do. I'd rather, rub lemon in bloody wounds or put toothpicks in my eyes. Repetitive ass kicking to me. I just get too frustrated with that type of gameplay.
Yeah, and I think with Demon Souls and especially with Dark Souls, it kind of stands alone in recent gaming kind of history because it's such a polarizing game. You have someone like yourself who's tried it, but ultimately thought, nah, screw this. I'm not interested. I've had enough. You've beat me. I give up. I give in. I'm going to do something else. And then there's people like myself and Ray who say, no, screw you. I'm actually going to get past you. I'm going to beat you, and then I'm going to teabag you.
You damn trolls.
You, sir, may I have another? I think.
Exactly. I'm going to take your souls. Basically, I'm going to take your souls, and I'm going to upgrade, and I'm going to go around, and I'm going to bash everything that I see. I'm not going to care. I'm just going to be the man. And there's definitely those two kinds of people that
No, I agree completely because
I mean, it's about to say in the UK we have a phrase which is we'd call it a Marmite game, and that's because this product called Marmite, which is you might have something similar called Vegemite in the States. No, it's basically it's yeast.
You gotta remember, Tim Benson's. We only eat McDonald's and Coca-Cola.
Okay.
We don't eat vegetables or homegrown food.
Right. Well, anyway, yeah, it's a product, and it's one of these things that you either love it or you hate it, and that was their slogan. So Dark Souls, Dark Souls is what we would call a Marmite game. You either love it or you hate it, and it's just one of those things. There's no kind of middle ground. Someone doesn't play it and go, this is okay. I might try it again later. It's either one way or the other, and I just think that's pretty unique.
All right, thanks, Benson's, for that description of Marmite. I'll definitely try to use that in my lexicon over here in the States. At this time, let's transition over to our lone female host, Anna. So, Anna, have you ever played Dark Souls? And if so, do you love it, hate it, or are you kind of in between, lukewarm?
I have not played any of them. I actually bought the game about a month ago, but it's been sitting pretty, collecting dust, because I don't have the time to play it. And from everything that I've heard from James and Ray, it's very immersive. And I want to be able to devote enough time to it to where I can really get into it and not give up, the first 30 minutes of playing. So I'm probably going to wait about a month or two before I start playing. And then I'll let you know how I feel.
Take a week off, take a little vacation, play some video games?
Yeah, I have a huge backlog of games, and Dark Souls is just another one.
I mean, they just keep growing at this point, especially with PS Plus and all those free games. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so Dark Souls right now is taking a little back burner. I'm just getting through the easier stuff and
but you're going to give it a try. I mean, I guess that's what we're looking for. Well, bravo, you're much braver than myself. It's just really nothing I want to get into. So, we've been kind of talking about the Dark Souls franchise in general, and obviously the second entry came out last week, and Ray touched it on a bit. Do you have anything else to talk about, Ray? I mean,
can I just add one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am very, very jealous of this man right now.
I'm sure you are.
I just want to put that out there, yeah. So
if you can, he didn't even live stream it for you to watch any.
I know. If you hear a bit of venom in my voice, I mean it.
Well, I guess. All right, Ted.
I'll stream it right after we finish this. I promise that much. I'll set everything up.
Oh, sweet.
Did you not get it because you're waiting for the PC version, or did you get rid of your PS3?
Well, actually, I have got rid of the PS3, but I haven't got rid of the PS3. Basically, it's been moved upstairs, and like downstairs is my man gaming domain, and upstairs is my girlfriend's gaming domain. So I do have access to a PS3. I can just obviously pop it downstairs and pick it up, pick up Dark Souls 2 and play it. But at the same time, I do want to wait for the PC version, because I just think it's obviously going to have better textures. It's going to have,
it looks gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Dark Souls 1 looked like the Xbox. It was a pretty poor port, but after a few days, someone managed to find a workaround to get you a higher resolution, give it 60 frames, and it's beautiful. It was lovely to play. So yes, I am waiting for the PC version because I think it will be the better version. But if I'm brutally honest, yeah, I don't go for that master race stuff. I mean, I don't go for that kind of loyalty thing. But I think if I'm brutally honest, it's basically, I can't afford to get it right now. I can't afford to. Just shelled out for a PlayStation 4, and I'm broke. I'm broke. I have to watch streams.
We all go through those downtimes. It's all right.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, Ray, do you have anything to add on Dark Souls 2? I mean, I know you've been playing it for a week and a half now, and I think you're probably going to drop your review on entertainmentboo.com probably next week.
Yes,
so any type of preview, any highlights that you can share before the full review?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, to fans of the series, there's a lot to love. There truly is. There's a heckload of game. I'll say that much. Each time I think that it might be getting ready to wind down, there's more to do. It truly is a great game. It's a lot of what I had hoped for the last few years. I think the second thing I ever wrote for Entertainment Buddha was like an analysis of the first Dark Souls 2 trailer.
Oh man, you have your own archive of Dark Souls pieces on the site. I mean, that's pretty much your section.
So needless to say, I've been, pretty anxious waiting for the game, and then I wigged out in the car, like, oh my god, it's in my hands once I picked it up. But it truly is a great game, even for someone that's not familiar or as fanatical about the series as I am. It's challenging, certainly. It's what we as Souls fans wanted. There's a few things that, I'll touch on the review that aren't quite perfect, but I know a big patch came out today. I haven't turned my PlayStation on to, install that. So we'll see if that clears up some of my issues. But yeah, look out for the review to come out. Actually, hopefully tomorrow, since I don't have much going on this weekend.
A little weekend action.
Yeah, why not?
So, if you could sum it up, did it live up to your expectations? Did it come through for you? Is it not as good as the first one?
You know what? It's what I wanted it to be, certainly.
Well, that's all you can ask for.
It's hard to quantify what exactly I wanted, but I'm pretty sure this was it. So, yes, it's a great game.
See, I've obviously watched a few streams, and I've read some reviews about it. Obviously, I'm interested in the game. I want to know what they've done to something that I really enjoy playing. And I remember I saw someone say that they've made it more accessible, and I was just like, oh no, it's that dreaded word, that the word that I hate the most. That you've made it
for the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. No, please don't. But from watching what I've seen, I'm actually really pleased with the changes they've made. So hopefully, when you push your review out, Ray, you'll concur.
Oh, certainly. I think the Soul series has always been kind of about, like we said, that rewarding yet completely implicit style of game design. And while certainly, the first few moments of Dark Souls 2 I think it goes a little bit further than Demons or Dark Souls did in terms of here's how the game is played. But quite honestly, after that, they do, you're thrown out to the wolves. It's everyone wanted and hoped for, and like I said, I think it
is there a mission structure then? Or are there objectives, or you just go and say, have fun, buddy, kill stuff and level up, and here, let's do this? It's pretty,
honestly, the way the Souls games work, like I said, the implicit game design, you don't know what the story necessarily is in either of the games unless you're actively like reading all of the dialogue between other, characters you interact with, or every piece of armor or weapon or ring that you encounter. If you actively read the item description, you slowly really start to piece together what's going on in this game.
Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying about, like the whole lore of Dark Souls is contained within the game, and it's not a text. It's not generally a text thing. Yes, all right, it does have text. You pick up an item, you read the text, and it tells you about that item. But it's not like, other games where you'll pick up a data log or an audio log or something like that. You kind of have to, like Ray said, carefully piece it all together. And, for example, in Dark Souls 1, after you get through the first kind of training area, so to speak, where it teaches you the basic controls, you get dumped at a place called Firelink Shrine. And you are basically told by one of the NPCs, go and ring a bell, and that is it. That you are then free.
There's nothing on a map. There's no mini map.
No.
Wow.
Oh hell no.
And there's 3 ways to go at that point. One of which leads to certain death. The second of which leads to certain death. The third and the correct path probably will still kill you a few times on your way to said bell.
Yeah. Yeah, and
more power to the both of you. That's for some reason I need to have an objective and I need to know where I'm going. I'm one of those idiots that I even like when it was probably during the 360 PS3 era when developers started putting in that little line system. You click down the thumb button and it'll tell you which direction you should be walking. Especially in shooters and tight corridors. I kind of
that's like Dead Space had that, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that guidance sometimes because I really don't. And it's probably something psychologically wrong with me, but I do not like getting frustrated playing games. I spent $300 on controllers, 360 controllers, and you probably understand why I had to spend that much money because they were getting smashed, chewed on, buttons ripped out. It just, I've got a temper when it comes to games. So that stuff right there, that design would definitely drive me nuts. But hey, more power to you, and I understand why people love it. So, anything else on Dark Souls, gentlemen?
No. I'm looking forward to Ray's review.
Software.
Yeah. What else have they made, by the way, besides the first one? Probably. Is this their one franchise?
They have done, and I'm going to pull up their complete works real quick because I don't want to say the wrong things, but I know that they had their hand obviously in all of the Souls games, but they have also done Armored Core, Tenchu, if you remember those games, and also where the Souls games really come from, the old Kingsfield games, if you guys remember them.
I'm struggling that.
Kingsfield is sort of where I guess the Souls series spawned from, so
yeah, Ray may be young in age, but he's an old soul when it comes to video games. He probably knows more about my era of gaming when I grew up than I even know, which is fantastic. But it seems your generation, Ray, because the 2 gentlemen you've brought on board to Entertainment Buddha, especially Justin, he's another just hardcore 8-bit retro guy. So I don't know what that is, but maybe you guys you want to capture something like what Ten and I grew up with, or Anna, I'm not going to ask you your age because you're a lady, but my first console in 1986 was an NES, old school gray box. So
mine was the Nintendo, first one, Nintendo. That's what I grew up with.
Oh no! See, like I had a computer before I had a console. I had a Commodore 64.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I did a little bit of programming as well.
Did you ever have the Apple II or the Apple IIe playing Oregon Trail and all that fun stuff? Or
no, I didn't. I did have those kind of like text adventures, but yeah. No, I didn't have.
Then let's go ahead and talk about the next big game that has come out recently, and that is Titanfall from
I've never heard of
Respawn
that.
Entertainment.
Yeah, what's this game?
It is. I mean, it is an indie title from a new studio. You may not have heard them. Like I said, Respawn Entertainment. They kind of popped up a couple years ago. They have a few talented individuals, but yeah, who are we kidding? I mean, Titanfall was the most hyped game coming into 2014.
Maybe of all time.
Yeah, probably the most hyped game of 2013. And it all kicked off last year at E3 2013. I was lucky enough to be there. I was at the EA press conference, or actually, I'm sorry, it was the Microsoft press conference where they first introduced it. And just from that first introduction, the buzz was palpable. I mean, you're like, oh yeah, Respawn's game. Well, there's big ass robots, and oh my god, they have jetpacks. And then from basically E3 on until the release last week, it's been nothing but hype, Titanfall. And it did finally hit the public last week on March 11th. I did the old midnight release lineup deal and grabbed it and threw it in. And first off, slightly disappointed, and I don't know if this is a Titanfall issue. It's probably not. Probably Xbox One. But it took me almost 45 minutes to even be able to play it. And then another 45 minutes to even join a match. So that was kind of frustrating because, when you get a new toy, you just want to play with it. You don't want to sit there and watch loading screens and whatnot. But that's a Xbox One issue.
Yeah. Well,
how about you, Anna? Did you have the long installs? I know we were kind of tweeting back and forth.
No, I didn't. It installed fairly quick. I mean, 30 minutes is fairly quick on Xbox One. But as soon as it finished, I was able to get into a game. I probably waited 5 minutes. I only played one game, and then I let my husband play. But that's where the waiting was, that's where the waiting started. It was about 30 minutes. And he just gave up because it was just, connecting to server 1 through 10 over and over again. And
yeah, the good old connecting screen it's basically like a gut punch for anyone that wanted to play it right away. I mean, it did towards the end of the night. I'm talking 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It did free up a bit, so I was able to play with guys on the West Coast. But outside of the launch day, the game really hasn't hit any hiccups. Did it come through on the hype? For me, yes and no. When I first found out there wasn't going to be a single-player campaign, I was one voice out there saying, this could be an issue. Because me personally, I totally enjoy first-person shooter single-player campaigns. Call me a Goomba or a Clawdite, whatever you want to, but I enjoy a COD campaign every year on Veteran. I don't mind
I'm with you.
Campaigns. They're fun. I mean, yeah, they're Michael Bayham movies, but they're enjoyable and they have nice action set pieces.
Yeah, they don't have to be. I think they could put a little bit more work into them, though. I wouldn't say that just because. I mean, I'll take Battlefield for example, because I haven't played Titanfall, but the campaign is just it's a joke, really. It's kind of like, hey, here's something for you to play for a few hours offline, and that's it. And you unlock a few things for multiplayer, but it doesn't, add anything really, I think, to the game, and that's a shame. They really should kind of like concentrate on that. If they're gonna do a single player thing, do it well. Don't half-ass it.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Battlefield 4's campaign.
Yes, yeah, I am. Sorry, I haven't played
I agree with
Titanfall.
You completely. I mean, what was that? Maybe 4 hours to beat. Where I really do, and as repetitive as the series is, and as much fun that gets poked at it, I really think the Call of Duty games, for what they are, they've really figured out a way to kind of make semi-exciting campaigns. If as ridiculous as they are, swimming under icebergs and burrowing up through it and jumping out and fighting in space and all that fun stuff. But it's still fun, and it's always a nice challenge to do it on Veteran. So that aspect is missing from Titanfall. And if I don't know, Anna or you guys through reading, but I've been seeing a lot of just regular fans complaining that there's no campaign, but those same people were like, well, who cares? No one plays campaigns with first-person shooters anymore.
I definitely agree. I mean, I myself, when I pick up a game, I want a story. Yeah, I want to play multiplayer, but give me something to bite onto. Give me a reason to want to come back to this game. And if there's a good story,
I think the universe has content. They could craft a story out of it.
Right.
So
yeah, you have giant robots. How do you not have like endless stories?
They try to provide a bit of backstory. Right when you hit the start button, it kicks through a canned video of how the militia came to be and what the IMC was doing with all these far off remote planet settlements. And there is, I mean, there is a campaign with quotes around it, probably 4 pairs of quotes around it, because you don't even have to shoot your gun to play the campaign. You can literally join it and sit in a corner, and you will get credit for beating the campaign, because it's multiplayer with voice chatter in between sessions that fleshes out the story. There's no cinematics, nothing. So it definitely leaves a lot to be desired, don't you think, Anna?
Of course. I mean, and the campaign alone is basically attrition just being, 6 versus 6. And then it splits off between hard points, which is just capturing 3 bases. So that's what your campaign is. It's a little bit of story, attrition, and hard point, and that's it.
Do you think they added this campaign just almost so they could tick off has single player campaign on the back of the box?
Well, it's not even single player. It's
multiplayer.
Purely multiplayer. I mean, you still join a session of 12 other humans, and then the bots get mixed in. So it's not even single player, really. I mean, you could join on your own, but you'd still be playing with 5 other humans.
Yeah.
I think, Jim, I think you have a point. I think it was, we have a campaign. I think.
That's what I mean. It's purely for when you look at the back of the box, you think, oh right, it's got a co-op campaign. Oh yeah, awesome. That's gonna be
on the menu too. Play campaign or play classic. I mean, those are your 2 options. And the campaign, all it yields you get the Strider class and the Ogre class of Titans to use as a custom Titan, and a cool 50G, which I used to be quite an achievement whore, so I always like when that pops up. But campaign definitely kind of beat. But multiplayer, on the other hand, that's a different story. I don't know. Anna, why don't you talk about that a little bit?
The multiplayer has to be one of the best it's just amazing. I mean, that's all I can really say without going beyond PG-13. It is hands down one of the best multiplayer experiences ever. I'm just the excitement between trying to find a pilot, which if you can find one, power to you, because
true.
I get more grunt kills than I do pilot kills.
There's nothing wrong with killing bots.
But that moment where your timer runs up and your AI just says stand by for Titanfall, and you just hit down on that D-pad and boom, it just falls. It is on straight up.
Yeah, it's and this goes back and I met Ten Bensons playing multiplayer games. I think the first one was the original Gears of War.
Certainly was,
with him and his buddy Perfected Chaos, who maybe one day
shout out to the Chaos.
Yeah, we should get Chaos on this cast one day there, Ten Bensons.
Yeah, definitely.
I know you guys live in the same city, I believe, so.
Yeah.
But we started playing Gears of War, and then after that, I think we transitioned to Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Call of Duty, Halo.
Yeah.
I think you did a little bit of Battlefield, but
I did Bad Company, the second one. I got into that, the multiplayer.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Bad Company a little bit. But what I'm getting, kind of tying Titanfall to is that thrill of playing the first Gears or the first Modern Warfare, where it was just a blast to play with friends.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of things to unlock. There was prestiging to be done. There was going to level 10 prestige to get that damn gold cross.
Yeah.
I think from 06 to 07, I probably played a multiplayer game every single night of the week for probably 3 to 4 hours a night. On the weekends, even more than that. Just having a kick-ass time talking to people from the UK, people from here. And it actually helped to develop this small little community. And obviously, nearly 7 years later, I still talk with Ten Bensons and some of the other UK guys. So
yeah.
And I think Titanfall has the potential to do that again, because at least me, for a time, and I suck. I get older.
I'm right
the older I get, my reflexes and my fast twitch finger movements just aren't there, and these little 10-year-olds are masters with a controller. So I kind of became disenfranchised with first-person shooter multiplayer.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I did the same with Call of Duty, to be fair. I played Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, COD 4 Modern Warfare. I played that to death. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it wasn't just not only like you were saying about the community and have, gaming with your friends and, the whole prestige thing. I just thought it was a perfectly balanced game. It had,
100% agree.
Yeah, I mean, you had 3 levels of perks. You knew exactly what you was going to get when you got this, this many kills. Was it 3 kills, 5 kills, 7 kills, if I remember? I'm not too sure.
It was 3, 5, 7. And first of all, thank you for saying exactly what I've always said about like multiplayer first-person shooters and why Call of Duty 4 was the most balanced game out there.
Yeah, it was.
You hit the nail
without a shadow of a doubt. It was the perfect multiplayer, game for I think the last console generation. I wouldn't even dispute that because, like I said, I had such a great time with it. And I remember watching videos about it and just being, kind of hyped up. And then when it hit, and having all my friends play it, and like you said, with prestige and this whole new kind of thing. Wow, I've got all these unlocks. I can customize this. I can do that. It was just a whole different level. It completely changed. And that was me coming from Battlefield as well. Who I'd always had a special place in my heart for Battlefield, and then suddenly going, oh, Call of Duty. It's not World War II. It's modern. All of a sudden, is that going to work?
They made that change consciously to go from World War II to more modern because they felt like World War II was getting overplayed. But at this point,
it's kind of
wouldn't you guys want another World War II era game at this point?
Yeah. Swings and roundabouts, mate. Swings and roundabouts.
Because that Call of Duty 2 for the 360, that was a kick-ass game. I mean, that was hard as hell if you tried to get all 1000G from that. But and to transition back to Titanfall, And what Tim Benson was saying about the balance, and that's one thing I brought up in my review. Actually, I think the subtitle is something, the balance of power, and I believe Titanfall, which shouldn't surprise anyone considering a good chunk of its development team came from Infinity Ward, who is a development house that invented Call of Duty, who created COD 4 and Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
and they definitely, you could tell that those same types of people worked on Titanfall because the balance, in my opinion, is the best ever. I think anyone at any skill level could join a Titanfall match and at least feel like they did something and they contributed. And yes, that's because of the bots. There are plenty of bots and specters and grunts to shoot down.
Yeah, but the bots are a means to an end, though, aren't they? They're actually a gameplay mechanic.
Yes,
they're not just random bots.
You get one attrition point per bot kill, and then whatever team I believe hits 300 points first wins. So yeah, they do come into play in some of the modes. But also, for someone like me that can't play all the time and really practice and get good at it, the bots allow me to come in and kind of get my confidence built up again. And to me, the whole mystique or the whole science behind being good at multiplayer, you got to kind of have an edge. You got to think positively, that type of hippie shit. But I think once you get that confidence, go in, you zap a couple bots, you already have 10 kills under your belt, and you're like, yeah, I can kill anyone. Come on, pilots, bring it. I'll take you out. I'll take you out. So Titan.
Obviously, that must be magnified. Like when you get into a mech, when you get into your Titan, and that feeling of being all powerful. What's that like? Because I've often enjoyed mech games.
What they did perfectly, and I'm talking about Respawn. They were able the weight and power of being in a Titan without making the controls feel any different than if you're just a pilot. Wouldn't you agree, Anna? I mean, you feel when you're in your Titan, you feel massive and powerful, but at the same time, the controls still feel fluid, and you can bounce around and strafe and do all that fun stuff.
It's still very easy to maneuver in it. I mean, and it's true what Matt's saying. You would think that maybe something would be a little off, but it's not. It's just like you're running around. and you're just in a giant mech suit.
It's a true extension of the pilot, and best of all, if you don't want to use your pilot, they actually have really great AI. I mean, you can put them into a follow mode or a guard mode, and they'll just sit there and kick people's asses that come in their vicinity. And eventually, as you rank up, you can actually make them even more deadly with the AI. So
which would you say was the most fun then? Being on foot, using that kind of parkour, trying to outwit people, using, with a sense of space, or being in the Titan and just being, an absolute badass, soaking up all the damage, firing off rockets, squishing people,
Well, that's I mean, going back to the balance of power, you'd think if someone gets in a Titan, it's over. I mean, they're going to rack up 30 kills or whatever. But the nice thing about Titanfall is, even as a pilot, you have a special anti-Titan weapon that will that will do the same amount of damage as if another Titan was shooting at the Titan you're trying to kill. So
really, so Titans are actually quite vulnerable. Then they're not just like this.
Well,
there's been multiple times where I jump in mine and I'm dead within 15 seconds. I can't. I have to eject as soon as
some things never change, do they, Matt?
Exactly. It's me and one child. We're the cannon fodder.
One child.
Even when you get in your Titan and someone's, the opposing team is firing at you, if someone's on your left and someone's on your right, the AI just starts going, you are outnumbered, and you see the arrows from all around you. So it's not like, oh, you're being overpowered by the opposing team. Like, no, the AI will tell you, you need to get out of here or you're going to die.
Is that like a voiceover thing then? Something says you are outnumbered.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. See, now when you get a group of Titans rolling together, that's when things really start. You're like, oh shit, let's get the hell out of here.
Game time.
If you try to go up against even 2 Titans versus 1 Titan, you're gonna lose. And when that increases, you have no chance. Don't even show up. Just get the hell out of there.
Yep.
So they're not all powerful, which is great. Which is again goes back to the balance of power.
And each classes has its own special ability. The ogre is bigger and heavier, so it's not as easy to maneuver. While your Strider is faster and thinner, and you can get out of fights a lot faster. It's very weak. And then there's the Atlas, which is the perfect balance.
That's kind of the tweener between the two.
Yeah. So that's kind of a standard, though, isn't it? It's like a fighting game. You always have the big guy. He's slower, but he's more powerful than you have
the ogre's your tank. The Strider's like your thief, swift type of guy.
Yeah.
Your Atlas would be your warrior class type of character.
I tell you, one thing that
the power and the balance of it even transfers just to the pilots, because if you look at what Modern Warfare and Black Ops turned into, in my opinion, it's basically you'd have 1 or 2 guys a match, you get these insane kill streak rewards, and drop nuclear bombs on people and all these airstrikes, and it just didn't make it fun, because if you weren't ranked high enough, you'd run out there and just get your ass kicked. Where
it rewarded the wrong type of play.
Exactly.
I think wrong type of play style.
It became very frustrating. I just felt like I'd respawn and die.
Well, that's part of the reason why I couldn't continue getting into Call of Duty multiplayer for that reason.
Yeah, me too.
I would literally spawn, I would go out, and I would die, and I'm looking all around like, where the hell did I get shot from? Like, I just literally spawned.
Yeah.
So,
see, where in Titanfall there are no kill streak rewards per se. They use burn cards.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Can only be used after you die. So you're in a match and you die, you can have up to 3 burn card slots, and then you can use one. But once you use one, and on that turn, if you die, then you lose the ability. So not one person can just sit there and play God and just wreak havoc on the entire map, which I appreciate. And again, I'm not the best multiplayer first-person shooter. I had some skill back in the day, but these days I really don't.
Allegedly had some skill back in the day.
We can look up the old Gears of War and
I need to see video evidence.
I don't think it exists anymore.
I got a bad rap in I think it was Gears of War 2 or 3 when the game started to lag a little too much, but whatever. That's for a different podcast. But back to Titanfall, It really is. I mean, I think anyone would like to play it. I'd be interested in here. I know, Ray, you'd probably have to get it for the PC, and same with you, 10. I mean, would you ever consider getting it? At this point, you just like, who cares?
I tell you, I'll let you take this one, Ray. Actually, I'm going to mull over on that a little bit.
You know what? I going through during the whole development thing, and obviously we were seeing so much of it, and frankly, at first I didn't care too much for it, but I watched some of your footage, Matt, that you recorded once the game came out, and then speaking to some other friends who played it. I think it was one of those things, if I had a few extra bucks to spend, I could see myself getting back into playing an online shooter again. And I think if I were to, it would be Titanfall. Certainly it looks pretty damn fun, like you guys were kind of elaborating on.
Well, not that I'm going to tell you to go out to Walmart, but right now Walmart is offering the Titanfall Xbox One bundle for $50 off, which is
other retailers are available.
If I could get it for $50, maybe I could afford it. Otherwise,
because over in the UK, they're charging like $8,000 US.
I don't even want to get into that. It'll make me rage. It's stupid. Although they have had a price drop actually, and a UK retailer was selling Xbox One Titanfall bundle for, I think it was £300, which is cheaper than a PlayStation 4, just the console on its own. And they sold out within around about, I think, an hour. So there are
£300 is about what in US? $450?
Yeah, I would say that about $450.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was going to say, going back to Titanfall, the reasons if I would get it on PC. Kind of like Ray, when I first kind of heard about it and saw it, I wasn't too bothered. I really, when I looked at it, I thought, it's just going to be like Call of Duty. It's going to be a reskin of Call of Duty with mechs, and I kind of stuck to that opinion. But since the game went in, got released, I've watched a lot more footage, and I've actually found myself kind of like really intrigued by it. Particularly because I like parkour elements in games, and I think that's an area that it really deserves a lot more exploration.
It does open up the maps a bit, and you can take it to the high ground with your parkour skills. And if you like faster games, I don't know if any of you have ever played any of the Unreal tournaments.
Back in the day,
Titanfall kind of has that pace to it, like
even when you guys were talking about the bots, that's what I
Unreal,
Unreal 3 or whatever. That the campaign was just all bot matches kind of thing.
I'd say the thing that I kind of opened my eye with Titanfall, and it was something I thought was really cool, was that when your Titan I think it's a particular thing that you have, that when your Titan's taken so much damage, you can kind of eject from it and cause like a mini kind of nuclear reactor meltdown.
That's one of the kits you can install on a custom Titan is a nuclear explosion upon ejection.
That looks amazing.
Sick.
Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing.
I can't tell you how many times I've died because of that.
Oh yeah, I'll just go in with an ogre and I'll be punching the other Titan's face. I'm like, I got you, and then it just goes, and then I'm dead too. But hey, that's what you get for rushing in, throwing bows. All right, so anything else on Titanfall, peeps? I think we pretty much covered it well. I mean, I'm still playing it. I know Annan dips in every once in a while, and maybe one day we'll get Ken Benson's on it.
Yeah,
maybe. I was going to say, isn't there a season pass for it? Have they announced that? And I think it's either $24 or $26. It's a real odd price point, but I believe there's at least three planned content packs. But I think it's shipped with damn near 13 or 15 maps, so you can go a night playing pretty much different maps every match, so it's pretty cool. I like it. I'll keep at it, even though running Buddha and whatnot, I got to kind of move on the games a little quicker than I'd like to, but such is life when you're in Entertainment Buddha. So with that being said, let's start transitioning towards home here. Two big things happened this week in gaming. Much more than that, but we're only going to focus on these two topics. The first is the release of infamous Second Son for the PS4. I
took it upon myself to go, not really wait in a line. There was only 5 people there, so I don't know what that says about the popularity of the game. Or maybe just where I live in Columbus, but there was no one there, so I got in and out, popped it in. First thing that impressed me, that thing installed in 45 seconds. 45 seconds.
Really?
Ready to play. 45 seconds compared to 45 minutes with Titanfall the week before. So right off the bat, I was already smiling. And then I booted it up, started a broadcast on Twitch. And the first thing I really noticed, I was like, you know what? This is probably the best looking game to release for the current gen consoles. And at this point, they are current gen consoles. We can't really refer to them as next gen
true.
anymore.
I keep forgetting that. But
for the PS4 and Xbox One, I have to say Second Son has the best overall visuals and frame rate that I've seen. And really, in my opinion, the only true current gen or next gen games that have really been released are Killzone Shadowfall, Rise, and now Second Son. Because really everything else for the 4 or the 1 are ported games from the old generation.
So you would say it's better looking than Rise then? Because Rise is generally touted as the best looking current gen.
Yeah, I mean, to give you 100% firm answer on that, I'd probably have to put it in again and just look at its frame rate. But I remember Rise having a little bit of a choppy frame rate. I could be making that up. I mean, I haven't played it since November. But what I've really noticed with Second Son, and I think Ray was trying to figure out exactly what the FPS was at. Yeah. But it's easily approaching, I'd say, 50 to 60 frames per second. Yeah, it's smooth as hell.
When you were streaming it last night, I did a little quick search to see what I could drum up, and I think it was, quote, well over 30 frames per second, 1080p, well over 30 frames. So I thought it was running near 60 when I was watching, and that was through Twitch, which can be pretty terrible sometimes. So it looked good. It makes me wish I had a PlayStation 4. That would be. That's one of the first games that's really piqued my interest, and I'm not crazy about the Infamous franchise to begin with, so that's
no, me neither. Actually, I again, thanks to PS Plus, I think it was Infamous 2, and
shout out to PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, I had Infamous 2, and I didn't really kind of get on with it. I could see that it could lead to some cool things, some fun things, but I just found it just a little bit too Assassin's Creedy for my liking, and I liked Assassin's Creed, so I didn't kind of get the Infamous.
Yeah, I've been with the series since its first launch. I mean, I believe Sucker Punch is the developer there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll grant it the first one with Cole, the story didn't really make sense, but it was kind of one of the first open world games where you played a superhero that wasn't from Marvel or DC, where you kind of were a unique superhero and you could either go good or bad. And then Infamous 2 kind of continued the story of Cole, and now Second Son is a whole new character.
I don't know whether I actually like this guy. He looks and sounds and acts like a bit of a dick, if I'm totally honest.
Funny thing, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the first things Ray said last night when he checked in on the stream was, dude, this guy reminds me of Connor Kenway from AC3.
Yeah.
Delson he's Native American. He lives out on a reservation somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. And really, I mean, visually, he kind of looks like him, and he kind of sounded a little whiny at first, but after about 2 hours in with him, he's starting to grow on me a bit. He's not as whiny or annoying as I thought he would come off as.
I kind of saw him as like a frat boy. I think would be the closest.
A frat boy myself. No.
Honestly, he's more like and not to pick on Ray, but he's more like a skater, kind of anarchist type of character.
Oh, right, I see. A bit emo as well.
Yeah, tagging billboards with spray paint.
He would definitely be using Instagram. Is what you're saying, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, with special filters, yeah.
Probably taking pictures of food.
I'd say it's pretty accurate. He probably looks like what Seattle's population looks like.
He's chill. I mean, he wears a beanie. He wears a jean vest with buttons on it. So he's kind of old school 70s hippie-ish. But his personality, beside back to the visuals, I mean, the character models are beautiful. The dialogue matches their lips beautifully. All the textures in the game. I mean, once I made it to Seattle, I probably spent, and I recorded video through the PS4, I'll hopefully grab from Facebook, but I probably spent 10, 15 minutes just looking around the streets and looking at the reflection of the light off the puddles and the raindrops hitting the puddles and the dynamic ripples that would happen. I mean, it really is just a very, very pretty looking game.
Yeah, I think they released a little kind of information thing saying about how many polygons was in his hat, and it was something like 7,000 polygons, and like even the rain is actually treated as a 3D object as well. It's not just like a texture that falls from the sky. It's actually a dynamic 3D model, which I thought was like, yeah, that's impressive, but is the game any good? What's it like? What's it like to play?
I'm getting there, and I know.
Yeah, sorry.
You guys use PC, and the graphics of some of these Xbox One and PS4 games obviously can't hold a candle to a high-end computer at this point. But for a console game, it's probably one of the best looking console games I've seen. Now, as far as how it plays, I felt like the camera is a bit wonky.
Yeah.
As far as trying to really aim, because eventually you start gaining powers. You can throw fireballs or smoke balls, and you can punch the ground and do area effect and whatnot. Sometimes it just felt like the camera really wouldn't. It was a little too twitchy for me to aim precisely. And as far as the parkour aspect, I find it chunky to try to climb up buildings and get to other places that are kind of off the beaten path. But it's still entertaining. It was one of those games where I kind of had, okay, I'll quit in 10 minutes. And then 10 minutes later, it's like, all right, I'll quit and next checkpoint. And get the checkpoints like, okay, I just want to see what happens next, and so on and so forth. So
that's a good sign at the very least. So that's what you want out of a game, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of these people that I go hard at a game. When I first get a game, I kind of, will play it 15, 16 hours and really kind of like sink myself into it. But I am blessed with having the time to do that. So I think that a game that allows you to be able to pick it up, play it for an hour, put it down, not have to, worry about getting to the next bit or, collecting this or doing that. And then, say 3 hours later, picking it up again, playing it for another hour. That's actually quite a nice thing. It's not. I wouldn't say it's casual, and I wouldn't like to term it as like, oh, that's one for casual gamers. But I think it definitely has its place. Having something that has that kind of appeal.
It has a nice save system. I mean, if you're just done and tired, you don't have to find or wait for a checkpoint like some new games. Now they basically make you wait for the checkpoint symbol to pop up to let you know you're saved. But this, you can just pull up a menu and save wherever you want and pick up and go. So I can't really comment too much on it because I only spent 2 hours. I hope to use this weekend to plow through it and get a review out next week. But so far, I'm impressed and I'm satisfied. I'm not going to say I'm going bonkers for it, but I think this is probably the first true current gen game that really takes advantage of what these consoles can do. All right, so moving on to our last topic. This week was GDC, or the Game Developers Conference. I believe it was probably held out west somewhere. This is where all these things take place. It's where
I think it was San Francisco or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's probably out there in Silicon Valley. And Ray and I will be out there for E3, so hopefully we'll talk about that before in our next cast or 2 or 10. But one of the big things that come out of GDC, and there's multiple things, but probably the biggest was that Sony revealed that they're getting into the virtual reality headset game with Project Morpheus. Project Morpheus is a headset that is supposed to simulate virtual reality, not too unlike the Oculus Rift. So I just wanted to see, especially Tim Benson's, because I know you've kind of...
I've championed Oculus, haven't I?
Right,
I remember
you kind of on Oculus and that whole movement. So what did you think of Sony's reveal? And I mean, do you think they'll do VR justice?
I think they will, and they're kind of the message that they gave out. They're definitely on the right lines. I mean, one of the key things that I picked up on is that they turned around and said that this isn't just something for games. we're looking beyond it as, you know, an accessory. This is actually a medium. And I kind of totally agree with that, because, I mean, you think of some of the applications of it. I mean, just minor things. I mean, imagine, you know, exploring, say, Google Maps.
Well, did you see
in a virtual reality
the NASA Mars demo? I mean, that was one of the projects.
No, I haven't actually seen the footage.
Yeah, the key developer on the Morpheus worked with NASA, and they created basically you're standing on Mars, and you can look.
See, that's amazing. Wow. That's amazing.
That's so cool.
And I'm like you, Ten. I mean, I would rather use it maybe to just watch films or experience nature, landscapes, whatnot. Maybe not just.
I would live in it. Basically, you know, the next generation.
Yeah, it's like,
and you know, that's what I want as a gamer, as a tech head. I want a holodeck, and that would be it. I would go in there, and you would never see me again. You would. One day the doors would just fall open, and I'd be dead, a skeleton on the floor. That's what I want. I kind of want that. And
here lies 10 Bensons.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I just think that gaming. I mean, Microsoft tried with Kinect. I personally think that Kinect is a gimmick. I don't think that. There's enough kind of games for it, really, that
I don't
utilize it.
Can argue with it, man. I mean,
nope.
Yeah,
you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, exactly. I would say it's fair to say that it's kind of failed. It's fallen on its ass. But if Microsoft, and I'm pretty sure that they are watching very closely, come up with some kind of VR of their own, couple that with Kinect. And then you've got something really special, because
there's potential in it.
Yeah, there is potential. Connect with something else, with that VR, and they also have the advantage of that every Xbox One has a Kinect. You know, there's no getting around it. You buy an Xbox One,
easier
you
for
have
developers, because then they know, like, okay, the user base will have this installed. Unlike you know, the PS4, it's piecemeal. I mean, if you want the camera, you have to buy the camera.
Yeah, I don't have a camera.
You
simply
can't
because
find the damn camera these days, because it's hard to get. I actually just got one, so I'm finally having my PS4 setup is complete. But
yeah, I don't have one because I wanted to save money, and I was I was spending money on a new console, and I didn't really fancy getting a camera. I'd had
no point, honestly, Ten. The only point is if you want to have a video while you're broadcasting. I mean, at this point in time, I don't see you playing in the playroom, which creates kind of holograms on your TV, and you move.
No, it'd be something that I'd have fun with, probably for about half an hour.
Yeah,
but I don't see it as like a serious thing. But just going back to the whole VR thing, and I think it's only good that it's only good things are going to come out of the fact that Sony are entering VR, because it's competition. And it goes back to that kind of, you don't want a monopoly. And as much as I've championed Oculus Rift, it's good that there is an alternative. And I think what will happen is that Oculus Rift will be the PC VR.
Yeah, I
think Sony's VR
stopped it for consoles. Really, I mean, it's always been PC centric.
And you've got some talented people over at Oculus Rift. I mean, like John Carmack, who
he invented id Software.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, id Software, Doom. The first person shooter. Wolfenstein.
He writes game engines. I mean, he creates engines that create games. So he's a little smart.
Yeah, and he's obviously got on board with Oculus. In fact, he left. I can't remember. I don't know if he actually left id Software.
No, he did. He stepped down his role to become whatever at Oculus.
Yeah. So I mean, that obviously shows you that he really sees a potential in there, and I think it is the future, but it's not the future of gaming as such. I think it's a future of a new type of medium, a new type of a new way of playing games, of watching films, of interacting with, imagine the kind of things that if you went to a web page and it was, interactive 3D. We're talking obviously quite far in the future, but it just adds an extra element to everything. And if it's done right, if it's done in a way that feels natural, I mean, it can't feel too natural having something completely covering your face, you know, and you not being able to see your hands in front of you. That's a problem I think that they've got to overcome. I mean, it's okay being sat there with a controller because you can operate a controller with your eyes closed, but you can't type. You know, you wouldn't be able to sit in front of a keyboard with a VR, you know, headset on and type your name. So
not well. I mean,
no, you could
probably some secretaries out there that could do it easy, but
yeah. I don't doubt that, but I think for the everyday user,
no,
it's early days, but very exciting. And like I said,
I'm with you. How about you, Anna? Any thoughts on virtual reality? Is it something you would buy for the PS4?
Well, I mean, I don't play my PS4 all that much, but I mean, it reminds me of what is it? Lawnmower Man, when he's like, like it just like in a weird way, it just kind of creeps me out. I mean,
yeah.
I'm with you on that one, Anna. Yeah, certainly.
You know, like the more I learn about it, maybe I might be swayed. But right now, I like technology. I like to use it, but sometimes
doesn't interest you enough.
It sometimes some of the advances just kind of creep me out a little bit.
Fair point.
Just because I'm pretty sure I sound like one of the crazy people that have bomb shelters already, but
the government's spying on you.
Robots are going to take over the world, and all this technology, they're just replacing
Obama
humans.
has your phone tapped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe all of that stuff, but some of it is just, it's like, whoa, okay, I get you. I see what you're trying to do.
You don't want to contribute to the eventual Skynet takeover. You're trying to limit the AI role in our lives.
I will gladly take on the Sarah Connor role.
There you go.
And, I'm okay with that.
All right, how about you, Ray? I mean, you kind of chimed in with Anna. It sounds like it's really not on your radar, but I mean, does it interest you at all?
It certainly is interesting. Even if you're the staunchest person against it, I think there's no denying that the whole virtual reality idea is super interesting. Me, however, maybe it's kind of my archaic look at video games, but I think the way the industry's gone, as much innovation as we've seen in terms of what games can be now and the technology and the mastery that goes into them, that's great. However, I think that people tend to forget within this industry, we're playing games. And while the virtual reality stuff has huge potential for games, I will forever be someone, I want to sit there, I want to have my controller in my hand, I want to step into this own virtual reality that's already, you know, in our traditional gaming sense, if you will. I like to do that, and then when that's done, I like to be able to go back to the real world. The virtual reality stuff, it's super cool for me though, until like Ten was saying, like that I can go and if I want to go to freaking Alaska or whatever, I can virtual reality myself in there. That's awesome. I'll be down for that. But in terms of playing games with virtual reality, I'll pass for the time being.
I think it's fair to say that VR won't replace traditional gaming, just as 3D games haven't replaced 2D games.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, certainly.
And I think that they'll, like, that's why I'm saying VR is a medium. It's not a gaming accessory.
It's just like
not like Kinect
controls. I mean, there's a population out there in gamer land that does enjoy them and still plays them. And I think virtual reality will create the same kind of subset of gamer where you're gonna have I'm a homer for 3D movies. As much as people kind of hate 3D movies and wonder, you know, why the hell do I spend extra money to see a movie in 3D? I like 3D movies, and I think you're gonna have people that like games with a VR headset, just like people like games with motion controls. But what Ray said is very important. I mean, gaming is still the art of kind of interacting with this fantastical world that doesn't exist in our own world. And a lot of times when you use these gimmicks, it kind of, as much as they want to immerse you further into the world, it actually takes you further out.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And you know that's really on the developers. I don't think you blame the technology. It's really these developers need to figure out the best way to use it, and then
definitely
take time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think with the VR stuff, I mean, I've seen a lot of people. Obviously, I've not experienced it myself, so I can't actually speak as to what it's like. But I've seen a lot of reaction videos, and the reaction of people is generally kind of, "Wow, I didn't expect what I was seeing." Like the fact that I can feel like, how close I am to a wall or how far away the ceiling is. I think that's kind of an interesting thing for purely kind of like exploration of a virtual space is something that's really going to be a big thing. I mean, like you said, with the Mars app, or I say Mars app, the whole thing working with NASA and walking on a virtual Mars. That's exploring. Yeah, that's exploring a virtual space. Nobody's been to Mars. Nobody actually knows what it's like to walk, on Mars. And having that kind of, in VR, I think makes it exciting. And I just think that I just want to hammer that home again. It's definitely going to be a medium. And I'm going to stay a gamer. I'm going to stay playing traditional games. Just like the other day, I was playing Super Mario World with my PlayStation 4 controller.
Picture on Facebook.
Yeah, hooked it up to the TV. I had a great time. It was brilliant. I loved it. Like, the whole nostalgia of it, the music, knowing certain things. I mean, that shit was hard, man.
Games back then. I mean, that's why I broke my first controller. Was the NES controller. I winged it around like a whip and smacked it off my TV, and then elbowed my drywall out all over Batman. I know if you guys played Batman on NES, that game was a ball buster.
Well, it's like what is it? Justin's review today on Castlevania. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I played that growing up, and probably a couple months ago I was like, oh, let me play. I barely got through the first level.
I'm gonna make a confession. I never got past the first level as a kid.
I mean,
I've only made it to Medusa. Like, he was talking about all these other characters. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking about? He's like, oh, you can beat this in 20 minutes. Bullshit.
And like with Medusa, okay, yeah, it's a flying head, but she like shoots snakes at you. So try to avoid a flying head and snakes. Oh, and then when you get to the next level and it's the Mummy Brothers, I couldn't. And the levels they get harder.
Old games are hard. I mean, the kids these days have no clue what we used to have to go through. I mean, remember, you'd have to write down a passcode just to continue where you left off because there was no memory.
Or wait, I think you've got the latest issue of Nintendo Power just so you could have all the maps and everything.
Yeah, get a tip.
I think you've only got to watch
Castlevania tonight, guys. I'm gonna see how long it takes me to beat as soon as we're done this.
All right, yeah. Let's see if you can beat Justin's 20 to 30 minute. Yeah.
I think that you've only got to watch The King of Kong to see how hard retro gaming is. When you see those guys, getting onto like the second to last board of Donkey Kong, and just like.
He's gonna hit a kill screen.
Yeah, exactly. That causes excitement. Like, he's going to break the machine because.
Yeah, my favorite part is when he's practicing in his garage and
his kid
going like, "Daddy, I have to."
Yeah, that's brilliant. You really feel for him though as well, don't you? And that Billy guy, oh my god,
I've met Billy out at E3, and he is exactly as he is in that movie.
So he is pretty much an arrogant cop.
Yeah, damn it, it troubles me that I forget the ref because he's the guy that actually started the Twin Galaxy.
Walter.
Yeah, he was there too, wearing his black and white striped shirt. So.
Yeah,
maybe Ray and I will get to see him again this year when we're out there.
So. I actually do check Twin Galaxies every now and then just to see like how far Billy's dropping down the leaderboard because it brings me so much joy just to see
Billy.
It's like screw you, Billy, you arrogant.
Hey man, you got to be a dick to be the best,
No, you don't.
Just look at all the famous athletes over here. Most of them.
Hey, look, if that's the American way, you are welcome to it. Okay,
it's the American way.
Keep your dream.
I think we've exhausted our time for this inaugural episode of the Budacast Enter the EB. I just want to thank everyone for listening. Hopefully you got some pertinent and relevant information out of our cast. And like we said at the opening, we hope to turn this into a weekly series. One day, we're going to have to work through a couple bugs because, we do have people all around the globe that work for Entertainment Buddha. This isn't just a United States only website. We bring in the UK. We bring in the South, which is a different country in my opinion. So we'll keep this up, people. As always, we appreciate you listening. Just real quick, I'm going to go around. Ray, do you have anything you want to plug?
The Castlevania world record is 13 minutes and 6 seconds, guys, by the way.
Just so you want to throw out your Twitch channel just in case people want to watch it go for it?
I am going to go stream some Castlevania. I think it's twitch.tv/Wu-Tang Clam. So I'll be over there later, probably playing some
Ray
stuff.
out. How about you, Tim Benson's? Anything you want to plug?
I'll plug. I'll just say follow me on Twitter if you want. At 10 Bensons, nice and easy, nice and simple.
Yeah, it's not as easy as my name, but I'll go last. So, Anna, anything you would like to plug?
If you haven't picked up Titanfall, pick it up. Believe the hype, and you can follow me at Febzilla on Twitter.
Oh, check out the rep there, the sales rep. Yeah.
I hope EA sends you some cash for it.
Yeah, that's royalties right there.
I sure hope so.
And then, again, I'm Matt Haywood. I am the founder, creator of Entertainment Buddha. You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Haywood, and that's MATTH3YWOOD. And as always, please come check out the website on a daily basis. We make sure to provide fresh content every single day, even though none of us are really making any money on this endeavor. We do it because we love it. We love geeks. We love everything about geek culture, and that is Entertainment Buddha. So, again, thanks for listening to the first Buddhacast. For the crew, I say farewell, and we'll see you next time, because we make you a better geek, one post at a time.